Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. We're here in Krakow. We're here on the Royal Route. It's very exciting. We've seen St. Florians Church. We've seen the monument dedicated in 1910, 500-year anniversary of the Battle of Grunwald. We've seen the Barbican, the last and best example of a medieval fortification of its kind, which I'm looking at right now behind our cameras. And behind me here is the 33.5 meter tall St. Florians Gate. And this, folks, is the entrance to the medieval town of Krakow. Where I'm standing now once would have been water. There was a bridge from here to the Barbican, which is over there, and this would have been water. It was a protective moat. All of this was built to forestall the invasions of the Mongols. This was a huge problem. Yes, it was. In the 1200s, in fact, I believe it was 1241, the last Mongol attack had virtually destroyed the entire city. So these walls were built, this gate was built, and this was the way into the center of town. This goes right to the market square, which is the largest market square in Europe. And at that time, it was just a phenomenon. And with the cloth hall, where people would sell their wares in the middle of the square. You're going to see all of these things. You're going to see all of these things, and we're going to take a walk down St. Florians Street. I'm going to go through St. Florians Gate to get there. This eagle up here was carved in the 19th century, I believe, off of a design by Jan Matejko that we spoke of earlier. You have to be careful for the bicyclers. They're delivering food. People are hungry. Yeah, you can see it's a very wide gate. This is an indication of how wide these walls were. It's many, many meters thick. Very, very impressive structure.
Krakow, the ancient capital of Poland, this capital city on the Vistula River in Lesser Poland, remained the hub of the kingdom until the year 1596, a leading center in Poland of economic, cultural, artistic, and academic life. Its old town with St. Mary's Basilica and the old Cloth Hall is UNESCO World Heritage Site. There is an enormous amount to see in Krakow, but you have to start somewhere. And we're going to start at the beginning of the Royal Way. It stretches from Florianska Church, outside the ancient walls, through the Florianska Gate, to Wawel Hill, the origin place of the city known as Krakow. There on Wawel Hill, Krakow grew over 1,000 years ago from what had been a Stone Age settlement to a thriving hamlet. It's a fascinating place, and it would take a month or two or even a lifetime to really get to know this ancient city. So if you will, by way of introduction, let's take a walk along the Royal Route from St. Florians Church down Florianska Street into the square, that fine Old Town Square which UNESCO has recognized as one of the living monuments of civilization. Let's wander along the route, pausing to look at various quite stunning monuments until we find ourselves by the rolling Vistula River, under the Wawel Hill, near the cave of Krakow's legendary dragon. It's Krakow. It's Poland. It's Poland Daily Travel. Stay with us.
Hello everybody and welcome back. It's an amazing story of these city walls. Do you know, in the 19th century, these city walls were still intact all the way around. Massive fortifications. They were falling into disrepair. The moat had become a fetid swamp filled with garbage because the occupying powers who had dissected Poland, divided it, partitioned it into three sections, This was in the Austrian section, the Austrian Empire. They had let it fall into disrepair, because why would you want to keep up the fortifications of the most important city in a country that you have captured? So all of those walls, much to imagine how magnificent, if all of those walls that had fallen down, this city would be, were still intact. Imagine how amazing this city would be today. Meters and meters thick, these walls were these walls. Anyway, a professor, Radwański, from the Jagiellonian University, which is the famous university in Krakow and one of the oldest in Europe, he managed to convince the Austrian authorities to keep some of the fortifications intact, including this Florianska gate and the Barbican behind it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this great example of medieval fortification left for us to see. Every time I come here, I love to look at it. It is truly magnificent. No, we just don't have things like that anymore, do we? So here we are on Florianska Street, and there's only one thing to do, and that is to walk down. The cloth hall is just in the center of the main square. It's about 200 meters from here, and I can see the fantastic cathedral straight ahead of me.